Good morning, students. Now we'll continue with the lesson, the heavenly parison. Where are you stopped? So I'll ask you one question. Who was Meghavahana? What was he famous for? He was known for his kindness and nobility of mind. And how was he tested by the Lord Varuna, the king of seas? Now what happened? Let me see what he witnessed in the midst of the forest. Let me see. Let's go through the textbook. Stop, cried the king, shocked at that sight. You wretch, you dare threaten another's life in my realm. The barbarian dropped his sword in terror and fell on his knees before the king. O noble one, have mercy. I am the leader of a troop of barbarians that live in this wood. My little son has fallen prey to some disease and is on his deathbed. If I kill this man, the gods will be pleased and save my son's life. If you prevent this sacrifice, my son dies and the rest of my troop will give up their lives with him. The king glanced towards a bundle on the temple porch and presumed it to be the is to be sacrificed boy. His heart was torn with confusion and compassion. This man whom you desire to protect, continued the barbarian, was wandering about alone and friendless in the forest. Is he of more value to you than this child with whom many persons are connected? The king, on an expedition along with his army, wanted to conquer the land of demons, the Lanka. On his way in the midst of the forest, he stopped that he heard some painful, sorrowful cry. Without informing his army, he just left that place in search of the cry. There he noticed in front of a temple, Chandika, there a human sacrifice was going on. So what is human sacrifice means? It is the act of killing one as a part of ritual to please gods. So at that time, he heard a man crying. Somebody, even under Meghavahana's rule, I have been slain. Slain means violent killing. They were killing the man. They were giving a human sacrifice. A man lay on the ground, his arms raised for mercy, and a menacing looking barbarian stood over him, brandishing his sword. Threatening looking man stood over him and he was holding a sword in his hand, ready to kill. Stop, cried the king, shocked at the sight. You wretch, you dare threaten another's life in my realm. The king got angry at the barbarian. He asked him to stop the sacrifice and he told, you are an unhappy person. How dare he threaten to take the another's life in his kingdom? Because the barbarian dropped his sword in terror and fell on his knees before the king. Then the barbarian just fell on his feet and he just told that why he was giving a human sacrifice. Oh noble one, have mercy. I am the leader of a troop of barbarians that live in this wood. My little son has fallen prey to some disease and is on his deathbed. What he said that his son was suffering from a fatal disease, so that he could not survive. All the persons are believing, and to save his life, a person or an animal should be offered for God to please the God as a ritual sacrifice. So if a person is offered as a human sacrifice, then his child's, the barbarian was ready to kill an innocent person to save his son's life. So he says that if I kill this man, the gods will be pleased and save my son's life. That's what. If the God will be pleased with this sacrifice and his son's life will be saved from dying. If you prevent this sacrifice, my son dies and the rest of my troop will but he refused it. Barbarian says, if you prevent this sacrifice, now his son will die of his disease and the rest of his troop, because he was the leader of the troop, the barbarian, will give up their lives with him, and also they all give up their lives with them. The king glanced towards a bundle on the temple porch and presumed it to be the Istobi sacrifice boy. The king noticed that he was worried looking at the boy who was a victim now, and also the man who was to be killed. His heart was torn with confusion and compassion. He sympathetically just glanced towards the man and also the boy who was going to be killed. This man whom you desire to protect, continued the barbarian, was wandering about alone and friendless in the forest. Is he of more value to you than this child with whom many persons are connected? And why he was killing the man, innocent man, he explained. The barbarian told the king that this innocent man is of no use. He was just wandering about alone and friendless. Now he questioned the king that his son's life had more importance than this innocent man who is of no use. Now he came across the word pray. How is this pronounced? And also one more word. So how is this pronounced? See, these both words are pronounced the same way. Pray, pray, but the spelling is different. P-R-E-Y, P-R-A-Y. So these are called homophones. Homophones are pronounced in the same way and different in spelling and also has a different meaning. So this pray, it is the one which is to be hunted or killed. Here the person, the prey is the innocent man. Here pray, this pray is means pray to God. Pray God, we say. 16th stanza. The victim sat crying on the ground, a look of terror on his face. The victim who was going to be killed was lying on the ground. He was to be killed. See how his condition would be. A look of terror on his face. He was furious. Tears fell from the barbarian's eyes, and even barbarian was helpless. He wanted to save his own son's life, so he also shed his tears. Sir, tell me what to do, he cried. I cannot see my son suffer this way. And he wanted, at any cost, he wanted to save his son's life. He asked the king what to do. The king spoke firmly. Do not be distressed. I will save your son as well as this victim. The king was so kind. He said firmly that do not be distressed. I will save your son as well as this victim. How do you save both the victims and his son's life? Let's see. I offer my body in sacrifice to Chandika. Kill me, O barbarian. May these two persons live. This is the 17th stanza. Now the king says, what did he say? Now he just offered, he told the barbarian that he would kill him so that as well as the victim and his son's life would be saved. So the king was so kind that he was ready to sacrifice his own life. The barbarian, 18th stanza. The barbarian, struggling between incredulity and fear, took a step backwards. So he was surprised to hear the king's words. Now he was showing, he could not believe that the king would say like this. Sir, you are the king. Your life should be protected at all times. Do not pity this victim. And he refused. He stepped backwards. He said that, sir, you are the king. How can I take your life to save my son's life? You are the king to protect all of us. So your life should be protected at all times. Do not pity this victim. Let him die. His life is of no significance. He said that the man who is going to be killed is of useless. His life has no importance compared to his son's life. So allow him to die because he is of no use. 19th stanza. The king shook his head impatiently. He lost his temper. If I can use my body. 19th stanza. The king shook his head impatiently. The king shook his head. So, I'll write the word here. You can first. What is this word? Shook. Is this present tense or past tense? So, this is past tense. So, what is the present tense of the word shook? Shake. Shake is the present tense. The king shook his head impatiently. Now, if I can use my body to stop a killing, why should I not? And he shook his head and said that he has to take his life. He is not allowed to kill the man, innocent man. So, he said that, he was so kind that he said to take his life to save two men's life. Why should I not then? Do not speak another word. Kill me. Now, the king came forward to take his life. 20th. The barbarian hung his head and made no more take his sword. Again, the barbarian nodded his head and he went back. He just took his sword back. 21st stanza. If you cannot bring yourself to strike at me, I will use my own sword for the purpose. So saying, the king drew out his sword. The barbarian and the victim watched in horror. As Meghavahana was about to strike himself, his head was covered with divine flowers of exquisite color and perfume, and someone held back his arm. The king whirled around in surprise and beheld a person of heavenly appearance. Then he realized that the barbarian, the victim, and the ailing boy had vanished. Now the king said to the barbarian that if he refuses to kill him, he was ready to kill himself. By saying that, he took his sword and he was ready to kill. When the barbarian and the victim watched in horror, they were furiously watching at the strange happening. As Meghavahana was about to strike himself, his head was covered with divine flowers of exquisite color and perfume, and someone held back his arm. He was about to kill himself with the sword. To his surprise, he noticed he was showered with divine flowers, with beautiful flowers and perfume. And he was surprised that someone held back his arm. Somebody was beside him. When he looked at him, the king whirled around in surprise. When he looked at him, he saw a person holding his arm and beheld a person of heavenly appears. The divine Lord has come to bless him. Then he realized that the barbarian, the victim, and the ailing boy had vanished. Lord Varuna had blessed him by his kindness. He was pleased by his kindness, compassion, and nobility of mind. He blessed the king, and in this way he created an illusion to test the kindness and nobility of the king. So let's stop here. Now we have come across these words so far. Wretch, meaning an unhappy person. Realm, kingdom. Compassion, sympathy. Victim, a living creature killed for a religious sacrifice. Incredible.